So Donald Trump and his legal team had a filing deadline of last night in Judge Tanya Chutkan's courtroom in the D.C. election interference January 6th case. And you can tell they're terrified by some of what they have put out for filings. It was either after the deadline last night or today. And they have requested a whole bunch of stuff from Judge Chutkan, including that the case be tossed out, in part because of the immunity ruling from the Supreme Court, which Judge Chutkan has already said that's not going to happen. Jack Smith has already modified his superseding indictment to account for that. So that's already been dealt with, but they're going to try again. And then they want it also tossed out because even in the superseding indictment, they're saying it relies too heavily on Mike Pence, so it needs to go because of the immunity ruling. Again, they're reaching. But then there's a whole bunch of stuff they're asking for about in discovery. First of all, they want a whole bunch of documentation. And basically, they want Jack Smith to prove that there were no federal agents involved or federal operatives involved in January 6th, hinting at the idea that there could be undercover DOJ, FBI agents, etc., working inside the mob at January 6th. Well, what Donald Trump fails to realize is if there were, it was his DOJ. January 6th happened during his administration. So that's not really the gotcha that he thinks it is. But they also want more information regarding the classified documents issue that Mike Pence had. After all of the classified documents were found with Mar-a-Lago, Mike Pence went through his records and Joe Biden went through his. They both found some classified documents and opted to return them. And they determined that Mike Pence having them was an accident and they weren't charging him. Well, Donald Trump and his team want all the information regarding that, and they want to see if there's anything there that hints that Mike Pence might have turned information over or that he got a sweetheart deal in order to work against Donald Trump. They think that's some kind of a win there, and they think they could use that on the stand to potentially discredit Mike Pence should this go to trial and should Mike Pence testify. Now, all of this is grasping and reaching, and I don't think Judge Tanya Chutkan is going to deal with this very well. She's not going to tolerate as much of the reaching. I think she's going to squash a bunch of this and say, let's move on and let's get down to business. She's already irritated that he has drugged this out as long as he did with the immunity ruling. I mean, the Supreme Court held on to that immunity ruling for 7 or 8 months, and she wants to get down to business. Now, we'll see if she does anything as far as tossing these out because of missing the filing deadline. She's indicated before that she wasn't as concerned about rigid filing deadlines and stuff, but we'll see what happens there. But Donald Trump, by pulling all of this, especially after that filing deadline, they're terrified. He's trying anything and everything that he can think of to get any sort of a break in this case. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to help. But he is so terrified of losing this case because this is probably one of the strongest cases against Donald Trump sitting right now, aside from the 34 felony convictions he already has.